Good morning, nerds, and today Star Wars is dead. That's right. If you didn't know, Star Wars is dead. Star Wars is gone. Star Wars has been gone for a hot minute. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so I don't know what we're gonna have playing in the black background, so I'm just gonna pick a game and throw it up there. But we are talking about Star Wars because apparently we had a movie launch just recently, and I kind of forgot that it existed. So, with that, grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? Hey, before we get started, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So hit that notification bell, hit the follow button, the subscribe button, all that good stuff. So if you want to come join us, chill out while we're just playing a video game Monday and Wednesday, go ahead and do so. And if you want to join the conversation on Friday when we talk about news like this, well, you got to do the same thing there too, and you can come join us then. I'll see you then. Oh yeah, here we go. Star Wars The Mandalorian and Grogu opens to 167 million worldwide, 98 million domestic. What does this even mean? Box office. Well, that means it is the lowest selling Star Wars movie to have ever existed at this point, because that was lower than Solo's numbers, which of course is something they do come down here and they do talk about for a split second. That's right. Let's see. Now Disney's latest Lucasfilm title, The Weekend Star Wars The Mandalorian Grogu, opening lower with 81 million in 3 days, 98 in 4, US lower than Solo, a Star Wars story domestic start. Yeah, it's abysmal. And the what is it? The gaslighting these people do to justify why Star Wars has gone downhill so bad. Like, it wasn't that hard, guys. You had one job: keep Star Wars alive. That's it. You didn't have to do anything else from it. You know, you had the originals, you had the prequels that we lovingly debated over, right? Like, we either hated it or we loved it, right? There was like no in between, but at the same time we were all Star Wars fans. And then there was that Christmas special. Yeah, anyway, so then of course, you know, you had Clone Wars and stuff like that, which brought in a lot of people who really loved that TV series and things. You had all the makings to do so much there. You got the games, let's see, Knights of the Round, Knights of the Old Republic, things like that. Knights of the Round, that's a Final Fantasy VII summon, by the way. No, but you had like this entire universe that you could pull from, and Disney comes in, they buy the rights, and I think, like most people, I saw that was like, snap, Star Wars is going to get something good now because Disney has money. Disney can do it. Disney can carry this franchise forward, and they gave us the Acolyte. Yeah, so I don't, there are dogs barking. I don't know why they're barking this morning. Anyway, but yeah, they gave us the Acolyte, and it's just like, really, this is what we're gonna we're guys, do we have to really rewrite absolutely everything? Is that necessary? Everybody's got to touch it and go, no, I can do it better, I can do this better. So, you know, you've got this idea that space witches are giving birth to Jedis and stuff. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so it was stupid, so asinine. But yeah, so you got Grogu over here, and Mando wasn't half bad. I mean, sure, they flubbed up a few places, like in the first season when they showed Pedro Pascal's face, right? That was a misstep. They could have done that so much better. You know, still had him tended to and stuff without ever actually showing his face. But somebody somewhere, somebody's ego got in the way and prevented that from happening, which would have, you know, made everybody still happy. Like, he would have opened his mask, got tended to and everything, but nobody would have actually seen his face and still would have felt lore accurate, right? Like, that's the problem. We want lore accuracy, and they can't freaking give it to us. Like, how hard is this to just give us some lore accuracy, guys? But yeah, here's a quote that I just wanted to pull out real quick. sometimes these movies make more money in merchandise than at the box office. Yes, it does. Like Star Wars does make a lot more money probably in merchandise because it was rare for them to produce anything outside of merchandise for the longest time. If you tell me that a toy or a Lego Millennium Falcon is selling more than I don't know, whatever the next movie is going to do, I would absolutely believe you, because they do. You know, everybody wants an X-Wing, everyone wants an A-Wing, everyone wants a Millennium Falcon, everybody wants the Black Millennium Falcon, and stuff like that. Like, everybody loves this stuff. And then you've got the games. Of course, like The Last Jedi was apparently really good. I need to play that game eventually, one of these days. You know, I really enjoyed the MMO that they currently got right now. The one prior to that, Galaxy, still has people playing that. Like, people have kept that thing alive for I don't know how long, and I kind of wish I had gotten into that instead of WoW back in the day, because those have some crazy stories behind them, right? You've got that new game that's coming up sometime at the end of the year. I think it's the one that resembles pod racing, right? You know, that game looks phenomenal. You got Battlefront, stuff like that, where they flubbed up the new incarnations of those compared to their old ones, but I guess they may have fixed it since then. You know, the games sell, so yeah, the merchandise and stuff sells a lot more than the movies. I mean, I that's a cope, in my opinion. That's just a cope when we're talking about that. But yeah, it's an absolute cope. Anyway, and to fix this, right? To fix this, you've got to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, which I think they did, right, at some point. But then you also need to get rid of the rest of the writers and swap them out. Swap them out for people who actually are passionate about Star Wars, who know Star Wars, who don't want to rewrite Star Wars lore to, you know, further their own gains or further their own activism, stuff like that. You need to get rid of those people. But yeah, so we've got another quote here, which I just wanted to highlight real quick. But walk into any bar, on any street, in any city, on any planet, and you'll find a Star Wars fan who thinks they know what's going wrong with the franchise and how to fix it. Yeah. A lot of us do. Like I just said, get rid of your writers and get rid of the people at the top who are making these decisions, because they're making horrible decisions. Yeah, that's it. Fix that. We all know this at this point. Anyway, the same fans are tired of being in limbo between the original films and the prequels. We're not really in limbo over those. Anyway, the same fans are tired. Oh, I'm sorry. And they want to see more of minor characters than the usual suspects. You're an idiot. Anyway, no, see, here's the thing. What sucks now is the fact that we're not going to actually have any real good closure when it comes to the original characters anymore. They're old. One of them has, you know, died. She's no longer with us, right? Which it blows. It really does, because I would love to see more of her in something. You know, as Princess Leia. However, it's just not going to happen now, unless AI somehow saves us from that fate. But yeah, you know, it would be nice to have something proper where Han Solo doesn't get killed or something. But, you know, at the same time, I kind of sympathize with why and how and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you know, where we actually get an incarnation of Luke that is true to his character and not the bitter old Luke that we got. That it's like, none of this makes sense. Like, seriously. And then you give us that bit in the Mando, right? At the end of the season where Luke shows up and saves, or, you know, gets Grogu and takes off with him. It's like, none of this makes sense to the sequel's old man versions of Luke. And yeah, and then they got to give us this girl who has no business absolutely being in any of this, right? Like, she's a complete Mary Sue from start to finish, just as, like, you know, doing Jedi mind tricks, you know, for the fun of it, trying to figure out if it would work or whatnot. Meanwhile, when Luke was learning how to do all this stuff, it took time, right? Like he had to actually, take the time with Yoda and stuff and learn how to do all these things, and it just took a while. Meanwhile, we've got, what's her name, Rey? That's her name, right? I can't remember. It's been a hot minute since I've watched it. Anyway, and she can just snap her fingers and make things happen, right? It's just, guys, really. And on top of all that, to be totally honest, I wanted Finn to have the lightsaber. I mean, we had a section where Finn had a lightsaber, and yeah, Finn should have been the next Jedi, and instead of Rey, like, she should never have been a Jedi. But yeah, I think I would have rather had Finn do it. But no, they made him into a bumbling fool because, he's a guy, and that's all they know how to do. They make men into, absolute idiots, fools, whatever, right? They can't properly give them anything good to do while the women have to be Mary Sue's, right? And that's the problem right there. There's no good writing, and these people are absolutely coping with the fact that their next Star Wars movie didn't do so well, because here's the thing. Mando did well, right? And then they fired Gina Carano, and then it didn't do so well. In fact, you could just tell by trying to watch it, it just isn't as good after that season, right? And I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if they just got rid of the old writers during that whole writers whatever thing, and they got rid of the few who could pull a decent story out of their house and kept the really bad ones, or what the deal was there. But it just felt like it went downhill. It got really, really boring. It was kind of like The Boys, where it was decent for a couple of seasons, and then it got really, really boring, and just it didn't work anymore. I don't know. Anyway, I think I rambled enough, like way more than enough on this one. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.